So I knew Crystal, for the 60th anniversary of Playboy, was going to be wearing her makeup all day long, getting photographed all day long. So what I wanted to do was put a nice base underneath her eyeshadows so she didn't end up with creases in the middle of them. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is use MAC's Paint Pot in the color called Painterly. I'm just going to use a nice fluffy brush and sweep it from the lash line up to the brow bone. You don't need a super thick amount of it. So what I'm doing is just applying it right at the middle of the eye and sweeping it up towards the brow bone, making sure this area is concentrated with the product so that we don't end up with creases right in the middle. See how that makes a nice base? So it's almost like your first shadow is already put on. When you're using this product, you do want to keep in mind it does have a dry down time because that's what makes it stay on so well. So you kind of want to get it on and get to putting your shadow over it. If you don't want to move as fast as this, just do one eye at a time. Being that Crystal was going to be wearing a black outfit, I decided to go with a gray. I didn't want to use a black so that it was so intense and nighttime looking because she was actually doing a lot of day events. So I decided to go with something a little bit more, a lot softer. This is black, but this is the color I used. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on a nice soft, what I call a paddle brush. Flick off all your excess and start patting it right on the eyelid. I'm going to cover the entire eyelid. When you get that shadow on there, really flick it a few times so that you don't end up with shadow residue underneath your eye. The reason I'm having Amber go ahead and look straight ahead, which is a great idea for you ladies at home as well, you're actually going to see what other people are going to see throughout the day. So instead of doing all these weird angles in the bathroom mirror, look straight ahead and you'll actually get the shape of what people are going to be looking at all day long. The reason I went with matte is it kind of looks a little bit classy. So even though you're doing a smoky eye, it can look a little bit more chic, a little bit more expensive. Now Amber's eyes are kind of like Crystal's. Crystal has some nice green light eyes, so as soon as I put this color on, they just jumped out at me. I'm going to use the exact same color, just a much smaller brush that I can deposit a nice line of shadow as an eyeliner. Go ahead and look up for me, Amber. I'm going to go ahead and start on the outside corner. As I'm applying this, I'm keeping in mind I'm probably going to go back in with another color just to really intensify the lash line. So I'm really just surrounding the whole eye with the same color. At this very outer corner, I'm going to follow her natural eye line. So at this outer corner, it swings up. Then I'll go ahead and connect. We're going to go ahead and jump back in to connect the two areas that we applied this smoky color. And I should clarify that smoky is more of a technique than it is actual color. So today I am using a gray, but if you are more comfortable in a purple, a green, a blue, just pick a nice deeper shade of it and surround the eye with it. And it doesn't even have to be as heavy as I did today. You can create it like smoky eyeliner. I think once you hear smoky, you think that it's going to be a black. And it doesn't have to be. So I'm just taking my brush and connecting the inner, those two areas. Go ahead and look straight ahead, Amber. While her eyes open, see how now nicely that is flowing upward, kind of following that cheekbone. So now I have my color placed in the exact spot I want it. Let's blend a little bit. So I'm just going to switch to a brush that's a lot softer. I'm sure we've all heard it before to do that windshield wiper motion. I actually prefer to do tiny little circles. If you want the shadow to move further out, do your circles in that direction. If you want to bring the shadow back over here, do it in that direction. Just know where you hold your brush makes a difference too. So if you really want to deposit a lot of shadow, grabbing it down at the bottom is actually going to push heavier on the eye. If you want a lighter touch and you just want to do some light blending, grabbing in the back of the brush, it's actually a lot softer on the skin and you'll get a really nice blend. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of black now and create a soft eyeliner. I'm I'm going to use a really small, fine, square brush. Flick off that excess. Go ahead and look up for me, Amber. And I'm just going to tap it right on the lash line. Just creates a little bit more depth. And it doesn't have to be as strong as a pencil. I'm going to use a pencil on the top, but I don't want it to look so harsh. This tends to look a little softer. I didn't want to create too much heaviness considering she was going to be working all day long. So I left the inside rim of the eye nice and clean. I didn't put any black eyeliner in there. I'm going to go ahead and line the top of the eye now. So I went ahead and I'm going to use one of my favorite pencils. It's by MAC. It's called Engraved. It's really nice because it goes on smoothly. Go ahead and look down to that direction. I'm going to go ahead and start really close to the lash line. While you're in here, flip the lid up a little bit and get right in the lashes. This doesn't have to be perfect because I'm actually going to mess it up a little bit so that you don't see so much of the line. I'm going to go in with a nice little soft brush and smoke it out. Go ahead and look down for me. So this is another process that helps you with it, making it look smoky. So that it's not so perfectly lined, you fuzz it out. So you get the intensity, but it doesn't look like a perfect line. This may tickle a little bit at first when you first learn how to do it, but I'm not getting the under waterline. I'm taking it and placing it in between the lashes and wiggling. Then I'm going to thicken up the line a little bit on the top. Starting from that outside corner, bringing it inward. Then I'm going to fuzz it out. Take that little soft brush, pull it back and forth. When you get to this area, you can pull inward and keep that almond shape going. You see how it just gave it a little bit of intensity? I'm going to go ahead and start working on Amber's eyelashes. I'm going to create a nice base of mascara on the lashes. I'm using one of my all-time favorites. It's Clinique's Impact Extreme Volume Mascara. There's just something about this brush that grabs the lashes, separates the lashes, and deposits a really nice thick layer of mascara. I'm going to have you go chin up, eyes down. Start at the base of the lash, wiggle, and pull. Wiggle, pull. And then really kind of flare out and get that cat eye effect going on the outside corner. If you get any little clumps, you can use a little lash comb. So just take that, comb through, and really get all those lashes separated. If you get a little clump, it's going to break it up. You can let that dry and go for another layer if you want to. With Crystal, I definitely put a layer of false lashes on. But if you were going to go out and you wanted to do something a little daytime, and you don't want it to be so heavy, you can stay right here. If you need a little trick on how to get bottom mascara on without ending up with it all underneath your eye and ruining all the work that you've already done, get a little bit of a mascara brush. This one's from Bedelium. You can get it at Namie's or Nigel's if you're here in Los Angeles. I just take that and strike it along the mascara wand, and you're going to have a lot more control. Go ahead and look up for me, Amber. Just take that and lightly wiggle it onto your lashes. For my last touch, I'm going to use one of my favorite glosses, which is the exact color that I put on Crystal. It's from Kevin Aquan, and it's called Tulipina. And it's not going to add any shimmer. Sometimes when you're using flash photography, shimmer can kind of read different, especially if there's silver flecks in it. So I like a nice smooth lip gloss that creates shine, but doesn't have a ton of sparkle when you're going to be getting a lot of pictures taken. I'm going to take that and pop it right on the center of the lip. And it's keeping that soft, feminine, pretty pink. Always make sure you hit the bow of the lip. That's where the light catches. Even if it's just a touch higher than you would normally go, makes your lips look bigger.